So let's talk Lagos Fashion Week 2024. Kicked off in full motion, was amazing all through last week. Ejiro Amos Tafiri's Spring Summer 2025 show titled The Symphony of Convergence. Now this happened here in Lagos, an offsite show in VI, and it was just divine. Unveiling, of course, there was an unveiling at the Paris Fashion Week, and this collection basically drew inspiration from just cultures around the world, as well as the fashion ethics globally, not just what is unique to you as a Nigerian or to me, but what every single human being, every single female or male, as you see, a very, very fluid collection can relate to. Let's take a look at how fans, lovers, and enthusiasts of the brand enjoyed the show, as well as what they had to say right after.
She's a craftswoman par excellence. She's in a league of her own, and she has made all of us who've been rooting for the brand from day one very proud. So I dare say it's about to be Ejiro season once more, because it's going to be one more year of everyone, you know, in our demographic and older, trying to get an Ejiro Amos Tafiri piece.
At the end of the show, one word that came to my mind was delicious. The collection was delicious. It was yummy. There's so many things that I loved. I thought, oh, I wish I could wear that. I wish I was 20-something, I could wear that. But then honestly, I think there's something for everybody. And one of the things that I really, really loved was that she had children. There was a lot of menswear, so a lot of options. Ejiro, brilliant collection. Bravo. It was amazing.
I'm so happy. It's been months of hard work, and it's always been a dream to have my show look this good. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy with the people that came, with the models, the production team, my partners. I'm happy. Today was a dream and it came true, so I'm happy.
Well, joining me on the show to talk about that dream that day was Ejiro Amos Tafiri. I'm so happy to meet you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. I mean, it isn't every day that, you know, you get, because I like I told you, I definitely wear a lot of your outfits. I've worn them on the show. In fact, I even had one that was really short, and they're like, your dress is too short. And I'm like, sorry, blame Ejiro. But still, congratulations on a successful show. Talk to me about that entire, you know, moment for you, having an offsite show, the way it was designed, curated, and the people who also showed up for you.
I mean, it was such a blessing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still reliving the moment every time I shut my eyes. Mm-hmm. But, you know, to go out and plan something, like, it's been years I've been doing Fashion Week, but last year was the first time I said, you know, I want to do something for just my brand. I want to see my clients. I want to honor them in a sense, not just make a small collection. And I went out to do 80 pieces. And then this year I said, okay, we're going to start. We need to do 80, but we did 100. And then there was no way to make a show that would unveil 100 looks without really making that immersive experience. And I like to think fashion is just like any other art. Like, you would go to an art gallery and you want to tell a story. You want people to read about it. But I want people to go on that journey with me. So we curated it very carefully, making sure, starting from outside, you start to envision what it's about. Even when you start to hear the sounds, we had birds in there, we had sounds of nature. And then when it started, we had a nice dance choreography that kind of brought in the collection, and with the kids to the adults. It was really something that I dreamt of, and I just received, I would say, from the heavenlies. And then be able to have partners make it come to life was such a blessing. And I'm happy that everyone has received the collection really, really well, because you never know as a creative when you're designing how people are going to take it. But also, having done this, especially for my brand, over the last 14 years, and constantly listening to my customers, because I'm not just a creative director, I run the company, so I like to be called the founder. I constantly want to make sure our books balance and even do better than balance, keep on growing. And we now have partners around Africa that are retailing our pieces, so it's really about the customer. So I designed this collection from a place where I constantly thought about the customer. What would they like to wear? What would they like to see? What is new? What would they dream of? And I am happy with the feedback, because that totally means that I did my job decently and the customers love it. Yes, I'm happy.
I mean, I like I said, right? I think when it comes to fashion, it's important that people like it, but it's even more important that people like it enough to talk about it without hearing it from you. So basically the work speaks for itself. Now, you said this has been a 14-year journey.
Yes.
And I would also say fashion in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, not just as an art, but as a business, has equally been a journey.
Yes.
So how would you say that journey has been, going from, where you started to now not only being aesthetically pleasing as a designer, because this is aesthetic, but like you said, balancing the books, which is equally important.
So I studied fashion here in Nigeria, Yaba Tech, and I did my internships here. And part of my study, several times we were studying why fashion businesses were failing. So right from school, and my background was science. I was supposed to become a doctor, but I chose to study fashion. So my background was already research. So while others were too particular about designing, I was constantly researching. And even with picking where I would intern, it would be the happening business. And I would not be going there just because I wanted to be cool, a designer, be flashy. I'll be looking at how is the business surviving? How are they making things work? What do clients do? Or what are they opening new shops? And what are the dynamics that makes the new shop open? These are the things that I have paid attention to. I started my business from my bedroom. I'm growing into what it is. I'm my bedroom in Ikoton, not my bedroom in any posh place. I'm growing into what it is today. I've had to constantly pay attention to the books. And knowing I have nothing else to fall back on, I've constantly paid attention to the things I create in terms of business. Now, initially, for what I would show at Fashion Week would be more like what was just like fairy tale. And I would then make pieces that I know people will buy and put that in the shop. But I thought about it. I think I was shooting myself in the foot in the beginning part. And now I got more confident to put what I thought customers wanted on the runway. Because prior to that, it was just mostly fantasy. And I'm like, I can't invest all this money and time into producing a collection that will be on my website. And then I'm showing customers something else in the store. But I guess confidence has come with time. That's the blessing and the gift of time. To be able to marry both seamlessly, make sure it's fantasy, something they've not seen before, something they want, they did not quite realize they want it, and then something that's new, fresh, but also very relatable. Because if the clients can't wear it, then what's the use? I'm thankful for the places I learned, interned at, especially like Tiffany Amber, who always say, I'm not making museum pieces, I want people to wear the clothes. So these are things that I took at different places I worked at. I worked at nice, brilliant fashion houses through my journey. And then also just being a boss myself and growing from really, really, really small business to what we have today. And I've gone out to even carry this journey of, I want people to buy these clothes. So I've carried my suitcases and entered buses to go to all the West African countries for years. And now it's seamless. Those places that now sell in boutiques. I'm now conversant with the HNIs in those places. But it didn't happen by a flash or sudden flight. I have put in the work over the years because I've been very focused on the business aspects. I have opened 3 shops in Lagos. Currently have over 20 retail partners. And that's the dream. I have a plan to have over 120 in the next 5 years. Yeah. So we have a whole business plan in place.
And I love in fact, there's a lot of things you said that I really like. Beginning with what you said about Antifolake, Coca, what she, you hinted at Tiffany Amber. She said, I'm not making clothes for museums.
Yes, exactly.
I'm making them for people to wear. Also about the fact that you said that, you're not just you're focused on the business of fashion.
Absolutely.
That is very, very important. Now, we have a very interesting fashion scene here in Nigeria. It's vibrant, it's exciting. But I also find that, one of the biggest challenges a designer would have is, I'm popular, people know me.
I'm not making bank.
But I'm not making bank, and people are not wearing my clothes. So let me look for an influencer that's gonna just, make me louder and louder. But the reality is, me in my little corner that just has a shopping obsession and is going to look for what outfits, it's not gonna find you because you're not anywhere. Yeah, so how do you balance that?
Business school. I studied fashion. So right off the bat from NYC, I started doing business courses. I don't think about my business as a fashion business. I think about business as just business.
As business.
Yeah, so I study pure water factories. I study water businesses. I study real estate. I go to business courses, EDC. I've just finished one at CEIBS, the Wella program. So I'm constantly seeking knowledge because the fashion industry in Nigeria, in terms of economic power, is literally just taking off in terms of what you could have done. And then I'm looking at people in Aba, they're making bank. I'm looking at people in the market, the people selling the fabrics. They're growing their businesses. They're making economical growth. But the designers themselves, not so much. So my question is why? Maybe we're paying attention to the wrong things. Paying more attention to the flash as opposed to the actual thing, which if people cannot get value, not what you think is value, but what people consider value, then they won't exchange it. But and once I shifted my mindset, at least in the past 3 years, it's been such a blessing. Despite the economic situation, people pay for value.
People pay for value. But now, how do you balance value with, let me say the climate, the fashion climate, which speaks to things, for instance, right now, everyone is, not even just right now, I'll say generally, the calls for sustainable fashion have become louder. Not like it was never there, there's always been there, but now with more talks around climate change, it's louder than ever. Where if you now have to meet certain international standards, that is definitely something that has to be in your ethos.
I think all African brands have always been sustainable. That's such a Western ideology, and I do not allow it sink into my psyche enough to dissuade me of my path. People that already have landfills of their clothing can be there shouting that they should change and learn from us. We produce slow. Yes, we don't have factories rolling them out in their millions.
Okay.
We already produce slow. We already put a lot of attention to the details in the pieces. So I say no one trashes an Ejiro Amos Tafiri piece, and I say it very boldly. Because my clients have wardrobes with their clothes from my first collection, like down to 14 years ago. I have customers that have bought from me every year, not one piece, 2 to 3, 4, 5. If you cannot wear it anymore, you pass it to the next generation. No one says, oh, I'm done with this, it's so last season. There's never a last season Ejiro Amos Tafiri. Everything is fresh. So it depends on the designer. And if you allow, I think what affects the minds of creatives in Africa is lack of education. You allow someone else tell you who you are. You need to own who you are and know your story, know your history. African designers, they are not part of the sustainable problem. We are the solution. We should be learning from how we do our fashion business.
And how we create.
Yes, I don't think anyone owns a Tiffany Amber and somehow gone into the trash. No. I don't think anyone owns a Larry da Silva and somehow has done that, or a Joe by Lisa. So why are we letting other people tell us who we are and how we should? Even by the way we design our fabrics. This is Adire. The amount of time this is woven fabric. So why will somebody come and tell me, oh, you need to be sustainable? And if by the person's terms I define who I am, I'm so narrow focused on who I am. I'm not waiting for the West to endorse me or to validate me, because I'm so sure that I'm doing good and I know what path I am on and I know whose voice I listen to. So that you don't internalize what then dissuades you from your amazingness. So a lot of people are so sunken in, and you go use these raw fabrics that would not last. You go use these things that are not well finished. The people telling you that, are they doing the same?
Nope.
And you let moth get into your clothes within a year.
I know, right?
All because you want to biodegradable. Already you use cotton.
Which is beautiful.
Oh, come on.
Like, listen.
Already.
Fine.
We just need to really go back to who we are and then work from there out. And then everything will be beautiful. You'll be at peace. I'm at peace with my clothes. I'm at peace with my designs. Am I saying there's no room for improvement? That's not true. There's constantly room for improvement. Am I aware of things that would be better if I changed, maybe if we didn't use generators so much? Those are things I'm focused on, my carbon footprint. But am I doing the best I can with what I've been given and with the climate where I exist? Yes, I am. Am I going to stay on that path until I see a different path? Yes, I will.
Now, looking at everything that we've discussed and how far you've come, Ejiro, what would you say makes you incredibly relatable? I mean, I could answer that for you, but I think I'd like to hear it from you, though.
Do I even know that answer? I think I stay with my 2 feet on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't like to so it's difficult when people say, I don't see you. I'm like, hey, I'm a studio
Talk
body.
to me about that, though, because when we had that conversation and you said, oh, listen, I died. This is the first time I'm meeting you.
Yes.
And when I say meeting you, even using my
yes,
to see you.
Today was the first time I met a client who I've been chatting with as well. There's always so many
Talk to me about that.
First of all, I like to think that I don't think I'm shy anymore. I think business has made me bolder. But I would say shy. A bit of a tomboy.
Okay.
And then I designed these luxury, very feminine pieces.
Yes.
I run this brand that is It's a lot of work to really be Ejiro Amos Tafiri outside of the Ejiro Amos Tafiri that my parents know.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm coming out to be the Ejiro Amos Tafiri, I have to psych myself and then get prepared. I enjoy it, but I don't think I can be that all the time because I do a lot of thinking. I do it. That is where I get all the ideas, how to run the business, do the design. It's a lot that I do. You know, running a small business, I'm not getting financial support. Not like anybody has ever invested in my business or anything like that, or I've gotten a loan. No. So it's so much that I have to do, and I do not allow the distraction because I call it distraction. There will be time for that. I mean, I kind of look at Mark Zuckerberg, I'm like, now he's cool. I'm like, yeah, my cool days are coming. Let me stay on business.
No, but I have to say though, you know, as to wrap this up, I appreciate that. And, you know, like, I mean, you don't need anyone to tell you, you definitely make beautiful pieces. So you're coming here today was for several reasons, but I would say one of which is because I can actually relate to your brand. And I think that, you know, without seeking any kind of validation or for someone who just enjoys wearing good clothes, you know, thank you for what you do, Ejiro Amos Tafiri.
Well, then my work is done. That's what I'm always looking forward to hear. Are the customers happy? When I get that feedback, I'm like, it was a beautiful day. Period.
No, it was.
Yeah.
And your show was amazing as well.
Thank you.
I think it was like so, I mean, I'm sad I missed it. It was such
Ethereal.
a, ethereal is the word. It was such a fairy tale. But it was lovely meeting you,
Getting
Ejiro.
better. Thank you.
Really, so when does the collection officially get into the market?
We had a showroom over the weekend.
Okay.
And we took pre-orders. So,
Okay.
I mean, with our stockists, they start to get it in 2 weeks, in the store too in like 2 weeks. But those who pre-ordered get theirs first.
Well, I cannot wait for it to get to the store because I did not pre-order. But guess what? You're going to see me wearing one of those. I feel like I'm that type of person that is like, I like this piece. I'm going to go look for who has it. And thank goodness for stylists. I have to just say,
You know?
those retail stores that just plug you onto the nicest designs.
Absolutely.
I think those have really enabled designers also reach a wider audience as opposed to going to the store all the time.
That is just wisdom. I mean,
Right?
that's why I work with so many of them across the African. So in Nigeria, I think I have like 4 stores and other West African countries, other stores. And I have 2 stores in Lagos myself. So
Yeah, I know you have any
I like my bank.
You do, man. It's important, so you guys like it. Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.